Eran Bucai, who is a top five System IO affiliate. I'm not talking top 5%. I'm talking top five. This guy is an all-star. He's been rocking it. So, Eran, I want to thank you for joining us on the channel, and you can just introduce yourself if you don't mind.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, so my name is Eran Bucai, Bucai with a C. It's interesting. I like to be very specific. I'm top 10 affiliates. I've been five one time, I think, and I'm trying to get myself pushed up. But it's a tough competition for sure.
Yeah, but
But
you've been crushing it though. I mean, it's
yeah,
awesome to see.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Look, I mean, I built a business online. I've been online for about close to 4 years now, and I've got a membership business, which is a profitable membership business with hundreds of members. I build people's websites as a freelancer. I have a software company, confettipage.com, and I do affiliate marketing, which is one of my favorite um, ways to make money online. Honestly, it's such a great way to do it. So yeah, that's what I do, and I'm a nomad. I travel, so I'm currently in Brazil and Sao Paulo just because I can, and it's cool.
And that's the freedom of having an online business is that you can
Yeah,
make money anywhere in the world and
yeah,
still, be successful and be profitable.
yeah,
So, how did you start in your online business journey?
yeah. So it's funny. I really didn't start, with some passion. It was really just it's just a necessity. I just like I needed to make a living. You know what I mean? You're a dad with two kids. You need to support your family. Now, I'm a single dude. I gotta just either support me, but we all need to make a living somehow. We all have to survive, and our level of survival depends on money. In terms of like if we make a decent amount of living,
Absolutely,
you
absolutely.
know, determines all that. So it was really just pure necessity. Like how can I support myself and make a living and beyond?
So, how did you first come across System IO, and what made you decide to make it one of your top platforms?
Yeah, it's funny because back when I first started online and found success, I should say, right? When I started finding success, my most profitable, successful lead generation strategy was to offer a free consultation, free software consultation. I still have that website live. If somebody wants to funnel hack me and learn how to do something like this, aroundfunnels.com/software. That funnel was the most profitable funnel that helped me the most and got me lots of clients and built a lot of relationships. And I positioned myself at that time, this is a bit of a backstory, as the guy who knows a lot of the platforms and was able to advise you which one is the best one for you. And as I was doing that, I was recommending people to Kartra and then ClickFunnels and then Kajabi and then Zenler and then Podia and then WordPress and Wix. And I was dabbling with all these and doing one-on-one projects on these platforms, building people's websites and stuff. And as you evolve and you also get really hands-on to actually build websites, not just playing with it, but building, you really get a feel for what is the better editor, which one has the better email marketing, which one has better
Absolutely.
course, and you really get a feel. And over time, it just became, and I actually dissed System IO probably about 3 years ago when I was looking into it. I just didn't see the value. Then again, I tried to go again about 2 years ago, and I was like, okay, they've really improved a lot. I was like, okay, let me
Yep.
test this out. And to the point where this year I've basically have completely shifted my membership business from tech support, which is generic tech support, to I'm doing System IO tech support membership, and that's it because I just find it to be the best platform, especially for people who are just getting started online. And yeah, it's been an evolution to get to this point, honestly.
Honestly, I think it's funny how almost everybody has a ClickFunnels story. It's
Yeah,
ClickFunnels isn't a bad platform, but it's just after a while, people find something that's more their style. And I always tell that to folks. It's that, they say, "What's the best platform out there?" I say, "Well, what's best for you? How do you want to operate? Do you like simplicity and something that you can still create a beautiful product out of,
yeah,
or do you want something that's just super popular that you may or may not understand, and you're probably just burning your cash?" I try to be honest with folks, not, and it seems like you are too.
yeah.
Um, so, what made you really kind of decide, hey, System's going to be the top platform for me? So, I guess what made you really kind of dial into System compared to
So
all the other guys? Like what drew you into System versus the other guys?
I'll give you three things. Number one, they are using their own platform to build their own business and everything else. So when something goes wrong, when something malfunctions, they suffer because they're actually using their own platform. No one else actually does that. ClickFunnels does not use that. They use WordPress for their blog, as an example, right? So different platforms use other things as well, which is okay because maybe there are other use cases. Even it's so funny, Infusionsoft Keep, um, uh, they actually use HubSpot for their email marketing, which
Wow.
I was just like, I just don't understand. Like, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
found the different platforms don't actually use their own thing, and that's where I was like, it's not that they don't use it at all, but in some cases I was like, this just doesn't make any sense. And Systeme IO really exclusively uses their own thing. So it's like, don't you believe in your own product type
Right,
mentality,
right.
you know? So that's number one. Okay. Number two is the editor, right? The editor is just so simple to use, and it's got different features that really very few others had. And I think at the time when I was looking into it, I don't think anyone had it. Now people are starting to catch on. Is we can do shareable links of elements, plus sections, plus rows, plus pages, funnels. But also you could also share courses. You can also share emails. You can
Right.
also share funnels. So it's got just a way more versatile way of sharing, which means you can really build a template business around it. But not only that, you can really save time for yourself. I use it more for saving time for myself because I create the perfect button that is
Yep.
branded to me, and then I just reuse it over and over. You know what I mean? So it
Yep.
saved a tremendous amount of time. And I moved from Kajabi over to System. And I sent an email to, I sent a message to the CEO of System about 2 weeks ago because I built a sales page on System for a new launch that I was doing. And I told him, Aurelian, I'm just telling you right now, I did this sales page. I recorded a video doing it. It took me 2 hours. This would have taken me freaking 2 days on Kajabi. It is
Wow.
so, it's agony on Kajabi. And I moved the system because of the editor. So that's the third thing, the second thing. And the third thing, really, and that's not as applicable to me, more so it's applicable for my clients, it really is the pricing. Because the pricing is so damn reasonable.
Yep.
And just so you know, like I moved from Kajabi to System, I still pay Kajabi. I still pay Zenler. I still pay Podia. I still pay, actually, I don't pay Podia anymore. I stopped recently, but I still pay other platforms for whatever reason because I still have affiliated them. I still want to have access to their account and things like that because I do support other people. So I didn't move because the pricing was cheaper with System. I moved because the platform was better for my use case. And I feel that the pricing is so darn reasonable, and especially beginners
Yep.
and beginning folks. Like, you're either living paycheck to paycheck or you got a family to feed, and at the end of the day, you're trying to be profitable. And
Absolutely.
if you can save 2 grand at the beginning stages, that's huge. It might not be huge for somebody in my shoes now who've been in the game for 3 or 4 years, but as a beginner, as a newbie, my God, 2 grand makes a hell of a difference.
Yep. And so speaking of beginners, in your experience, in your professional experience, what are some of the most common challenges that new digital marketers face? And like how would they overcome them in today's day and age? You know, the economy is kind of all up and down and there's just so many different products out there. Like how what are some of the challenges that you find, some guys that may sign up for your tech membership have that you kind of help coach them through?
Yeah, totally. Um, there is challenge that everybody has, whether they're tech savvy or not. Shiny object, right? Just chasing shiny object. Let me just clear my voice.
Yep, yep, go for it. I always keep a bottle of water with me whenever I do streams, just for this reason.
So shiny object is huge, right? Like that's such a, you would have seen the craze about the PLR, recent PLR and MRR and all
Yep,
that.
yep.
I'm fortunate that I build people's websites so I get to have them share their screen and show me. And I've seen people sharing their screen and showing me the same PLR purchase 5 times.
Wow.
Just keep buying the same PLR products from different people. Like it's just like, what are you doing? Right? It's mental. It's really mental. And they think that buying equates work. They think buying equates results. They think buying equates I'm gonna make money online. And that could not be further from the truth. Right?
Yep.
So that's point number one, which brings me to point number two. Point number two is go get a freaking customer. Okay, stop buying stuff. Go get a customer. Now that customer, you need to either sell them a service or sell them a digital product. Okay,
Yep. Yep.
maybe sell them a coaching session. Maybe you build them a website. Maybe you do a landing page. Maybe you do video editing. Maybe you create them a Canva social media post. It doesn't matter. Pick something
Yep.
and go monetize, right? And getting out of your comfort zone to do exactly that is super where I feel people are just really overcomplicating. They're thinking, oh, I need to build a website and I gotta build a funnel. And no, actually, no, you don't need any of those things. And I build funnels for a living, okay? You don't need any of those things right at the beginning. You need a skill and you need to actually go and take action and go find a customer today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do think that shiny object syndrome is just so easy to fall into because some people do have some amazing products out there, but
Yeah.
then you have to kind of weigh the pros and cons of the product as well as if it's going to actually be beneficial to you and your potential audience.
Mhm.
And so that's one of the things I kind of talk about all the time is that, you know, I always try to tell folks who need to start building their skills up. You know, whether you're specializing in two things that could be copywriting and email marketing, or if you
Yeah.
want to be a full, well-rounded digital marketer, which is going to take a lot longer to do, but you have more knowledge of all the processes. But you
Yeah.
still kind of want to dial in and find what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are and how you could, kind of build your business around those.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So now going into email marketing.
Yeah.
What is your approach to email templates and kind of being effective, being valuable to your audience, and just making email marketing a pivot in your business?
Yeah, totally. So it's funny because I have a templates membership and I actually provide some email templates, but I don't have a lot of them. And I'll tell you, I don't use any email templates, right? What I do, and I'm going to give you the greatest hack for email marketing and email templates that is going to cost you $0 to do. Okay. Go to your email inbox, find the marketers you like the most, emails that
Yep.
you people you actually bought from, and take those ones and save those emails into a Google Doc and then cut out what you don't like, what you do like, and stuff like that. If you actually subscribe to my email sequence, I have my first email is super long. I mean, long, like you scroll, okay? Um, and that email does so bloody well. It's actually a combination of two different marketers that I took a piece of something that they liked. Like one of them had a really cool intro, right?
Yeah.
And but their intro was a bit humorous, but it was a bit sexual. It was a bit like, but I like the humorous part. So I didn't, I just took it and I make it appropriate, right? So I think my email starts with something like, okay, you need another email inbox. You need another email in your inbox, like you need a poke in the eye, right? Something like that. I said something funny, but they use something like a bit, whatever, inappropriate. I felt it was inappropriate, but I like the concept of the humor to just kind of break the ice, right?
Right.
So I used that. And then there was something else that I liked about the email that they kind of wrapped up with, which I thought was cool, some bullet points that they did. And that's what I took away. Then there was another person that I liked what they did. And they basically had a really clever way of how to tell somebody to save their email to their primary inbox, right?
Yep.
And I really liked the structure of how they set it up. So I did that. And I may have taken another one or two people's inspiration. But besides that, I just wrote it, it's my copy, but I took inspiration. And that's, I
Yep.
think, the best use of templates is inspiration without buying more shiny objects. Don't go to your inbox, and get diverted into buying stuff. Go to the inbox to learn, consume, and pick apart what you like and what resonates with you, your brain, how you want to come across, and so on.
Now, do you use any AI to kind of help you draft emails or help you refine it at all? Just
None.
all you?
100% authentic me.
Oh, nice, nice. See, I do a combination. Some days all my creative juices are flowing. I'm just drafting emails and I'm in my zone. Other days I may like need a little bit of a push. So I'll probably like use some different AI tools I like to use. But I always tell people don't rely on those 100% because you should learn the skill. Let it kind of be a starting point and maybe help you answer a few questions, but don't use it word for word because it's not ever going to have your voice no matter how much you train it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love AI. I do think it makes life easier, but I think the people rely on it a little too much.
Yeah, yeah, totally. If you go to my I don't know if which email, but it's somewhere in my emails. I have like a little thing that I called cold intro, which is basically somebody who doesn't know me, and I tell them up front, "Hey, my name is Eran. In case we haven't met, point number one, I have no high ticket coaching to sell you. Number two, I have no high ticket course to sell you. Number three, my copy and content and courses and emails and social media posts and all that stuff is 100% authentic and is not generated by AI. It's not PLR, and it's not someone else's content. No ghostwriters. It's 100% me." So I kind of give them that immediate disclaimer to kind of differentiate myself, which
Yep.
is why I don't also use AI. But also, I'm the type that I actually don't struggle with writing so much. So I
Nice.
feel I've got that competitive advantage, whereas other people don't have that confidence or that particular ability to write with more ease. So it's not that I don't use AI and no one else should. It's more like, okay, I've got a competitive advantage. I'm going to lean into it. So someone else who might need that, you know. And also, I've been told, for example, it was a really good, interesting interview. I did an interview with an AI expert, and he said, use AI as a sounding board, write your own thing, and then put it to AI. Say, okay, here's what I wrote. What could I do better? You know,
Right.
and I thought, okay, that's use cases that I haven't thought about. You know, so it's not to say that I'm like anti or whatever, but you know, I try to really focus on just being 100% authentic with what I write, and I think it aligns better with my brand, which is .com truths. So, yeah,
And I think that's a great way to approach it too, because as we talked about earlier, once you find your strength, you dial into it. Just like you said, if copywriting is your thing and creative storytelling is your thing, lean in on that. And I think that's honestly a great way to become successful because we're all in the business of telling stories, right?
yeah,
The story is, we all want people to achieve financial and time freedom.
yeah,
How are we going to get there? Some people are better at telling their own story than others. Some people are better at kind of showing folks the way than others. Some
yeah,
people are really good at mixing those. I think you're one of those folks that are good at mixing those.
yeah,
And I think that's an awesome quality to have.
yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
So I guess my next question is, what's your approach to creating like your digital content, your online courses, your templates, your PLRs? How do you determine the content and the structure? Because
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably have a nice checklist that you go down the line and follow, or it's just varies depending on what it is.
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple of things I would say. Number one, I'm constantly solving my own problems, right?
Yep.
So I think that's if you look at every great company or a lot of great companies, they all start with a small problem. Even if you look at somebody like Sarah Blakely, who built a $1 billion company called Spanx,
Yep.
she
Yep.
started because if she tells her story, she wanted to wear white pants with nothing to show under type thing. Like it's such a that was the problem she was starting is women undergarments, right?
Right.
And the point is that even if you look at Dyson, the vacuum cleaner, he was solving that issue for himself as well. So a lot of different people start a business to solve their own issue. And when I'm in business, I'm solving my own issue. And I'll give you an example, very much in alignment with what you said about folks just picking up a skill and stuff like that, right? At some point, I was trying to learn video editing because I started a YouTube channel. Basically, I
Yep.
uploaded some video to YouTube, and I accidentally did a really good SEO optimization, not even knowing that I picked a good keyword. And that video did really well. And I was like, why am I getting so many views? It was the dumbest YouTube video ever. It was like something about how to make money doing software reviews. It's just so stupid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like nobody makes money. Nobody makes money with it. You know what I mean? But somehow that video did well. Anyway, it was just ridiculous because I was just trying things out. Now, that video, obviously, I didn't go down the path of teaching people how to make a living online doing software reviews. That's not the thing, right? But it led me down the path of YouTube SEO. So I was like, okay, why does a video rank? How does it happen? Then I was reverse engineering the SEO side of things. Then all of a sudden I learned like YouTube SEO. So I learned all that and I created a course to teach my virtual assistants everything I learned about YouTube SEO so they can take over because I don't have time to do it.
Right.
So I created a course to basically teach everything I learned. Then I was like, okay, YouTube SEO is great. I can rank on page one instantly, but it's not going to stay there because the video sucks. So
Right.
what makes a video good? Well, well edited video because a lot of well edited videos. Think about your favorite TV series or movies.
Yep.
Why would you sit there and watch a freaking TV series over 10 episodes or 10 series, 10 seasons and keep watching? Like, what is it about them? If you actually pay attention, there's a lot of transitions. A scene, a camera angle changes every freaking few seconds, right?
Yep.
There's always a storyline. There's always a hook. There's always open loop. There's all these things. So when I was watching TV series, I was learning from those things that, what makes that good. And then I was like, okay, great. How can I implement into video editing? How can I implement into storytelling? And then I'm documenting all my learnings into those things. All of a sudden, I'm documenting it not just for my content for my audience. I'm also documenting it for my virtual assistant team who could take over those things from me.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I've got the digital course out of it. So I've got a video editing course, I've got a YouTube SEO course, and I'm very straight up about it. I'm not the greatest video editor in the world by any means, but I could do a decent job. And here are the different principles, and I've got a course. So there you go. So that's kind of my approach: is solving my own problems, documenting it, sharing it with my own team, but also with my audience, so I can multi-purpose it basically.
I like how you mentioned the fact that you were just doing something as simple as watching TV or watching a movie and started kind of you put your critical thinking hat on. You start reverse engineering. You say, okay, how do I apply just something as funny as entertaining as this to what I do every day, which is
That's
creating
right.
content? How do I make what I do better?
That's
And
right.
I think that we as people should always kind of have that in the back of our heads. Like, how do we just become better at things we do all the time? You
Yeah.
know? And I think that that's an awesome, awesome quality to have. And sometimes people aren't even self aware that they're doing it. And like you said, you kind of just stumbled into it
Yeah.
just off of a video. You just trying stuff, and you were like, "Well, this did better than I thought. Why?" And you're like, I think that's one of the things we always have to kind of think about going forward is how do we continuously grow? How do we get better? Just doing simple things. And you never know where the inspiration is going to come from.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I've only got you for a little bit longer. We don't have a lot of people on, but the folks that are on, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. Let me know if you guys are having a good time. You know, me personally, I'm learning a lot from Iran. It's some things that you can just learn from having a typical normal conversation with guys, how to build your business and even how to just change your thinking. And I think that's what I want you guys to do is really kind of develop your own thinking to say, okay, how do I get better at this one skill today or tomorrow? What can I improve on? And I think that that's really my goal in doing these interviews is trying to help you guys figure out what is that one thing you want to get better at, and then we can dive at it together.
Yeah.
Personally, I've got a background in like TV, so when you talked about watching shows and stuff, I said I made a few shows.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. I'd like to add something to what you just said, right? About not having a lot of people on. The fact that there could be zero people watching, I couldn't care less.
Yep.
And this is really important to understand. Is that if you want to make money online, you want to build a business, I follow three rules on terms of finding customers. Number one, get in front of other people's audiences. Number two, make yourself known. Number three, form meaningful connections. If you just do those things consistently, just the consistency of doing that, you will result in something. Now, there is already one person on this live right now, which is the most important person to be on, and that person is you, because you're live, and I'm making a connection with you as a human, and vice versa. I'm live with you. That's the most important, meaningful connection that can occur here. Doesn't matter if anybody else watching is a bonus, right?
Yep. Yep.
Now, of course, as you get better with interviews, as your audience grows, as you test different timing of when to do interviews, as you get better at marketing the replay, there's all these little nuances you can get better at, right?
Yep.
The reality is that if you just focus on making meaningful connections with people, like do this every single day with a new person, great. And then also, the other thing is also it's a great way to get free coaching. You just invite people over to learn from. Do you know, I did exactly that with when I was earlier when I was starting, probably 2 3 years ago. I've always wanted to do like a software company. I know that software is kind of the way to really make like massive growth, exponential growth financially.
Yep.
So what I did is I reached out to every software CEO that I like and respect and so on, and I said, can I do an interview to talk about your software and stuff? I was doing it because I want to get them on, get them exposure, make money as an affiliate, yes. But honestly, the back of my mind, I wanted a coaching session from a
Yep.
software CEO to teach me, how do you hire?
Yep.
How much did you raise? How did it go? You know what I mean? All these things. And I think that's another really important point. So anyway, just thought this is an important piece to share as well. So people also don't get discouraged about views and how many subscribers they have. All that's irrelevant.
Yeah. I
One
I
by
totally
one,
agree.
one by one, just focus on making connections. One by one. That's all that matters.
That's where we're in the business of making connections. Whether
Yeah.
that's one person at a time or 1,000 people at a time. You
Yeah.
know. So we got a few good questions here I want to get into. So this person says, "What's the best way to make affiliate commissions from system? Low cost funnel, free funnels, etc." So you can go into that, or maybe I can dive in.
Yeah. Do you want to leave this question on?
Sure.
People.
So in my opinion, I think that providing quality value is it should be the goal. Whether that's a good lead magnet, it could be a free funnel, it could be a free template. Some people do really good with ebooks. It's just providing a quality lead magnet as well as building relationships is probably the best thing to do to grow any kind of business. And system makes it super easy to do that just because of how everything's all in one place and everything's seamless. And honestly, I've had really good success rates. I mean, good open rates and good feedback for everything I've done so far in it. So I think that that's the way to go is providing value with your lead magnets and anything that you may provide, and just keep building relationships with folks.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, could you leave that comment up for a second, just so I can
Sure.
read it again?
Yeah.
So I want to give some really practical stuff to give you an example, right? So typically with affiliate marketing, at the end of the day, you need to get people who might benefit from this software, right? So I'll give you an example. Who would use System IO? People who have a website, have a funnel, want to start a business and all that. Now, that could be to some degree, maybe a little bit competitive. Like, if you're going to try and make money as an affiliate system, you're going to go up against people like me who are going to crush you on YouTube because I'm going to record way more videos than anybody else. And I'll,
Yep.
I'll have a full time video editor. So you got to figure out your edge. And I'll give you an edge if you could do things that I don't do, I don't have time to do. Is there is literally dozens, if not hundreds, of competitors to System.io. I'll give you a random software. Okay, it's called Duda. Okay, Duda is a random software. Probably nobody even heard of it. It's kind of like a competitor to WordPress. But I bet you, if you were to go to the Duda Instagram account, to the Duda Facebook group, if they have a Facebook group, and actually go through the list and actually see everybody's there, look through their websites, see if there's any websites that are not good, you will probably find different potential people. So you could do a review video on YouTube, Duda versus System.io. Sign up for a free account with Duda and do a review video, Duda versus System.io, which is better, or
Yep.
something like that. All of a sudden, you're coming from an angle that not many people are going at, right?
Yep.
So I'm trying to dominate the tutorials niche of just like straight tutorials because I just do better with just educational content. I really like that content. I think I do good a job with it. I think I've got an edge on that. But I don't have time to go and sign up to freaking every single tool. So that would be a really good way to do that, right? See, somebody says I never heard of Duda.
Yep.
I'm just giving. I'm not even picking on Duda. I haven't even signed up for ages. The point is, it's an angle. Now, is that gonna rank? Is it gonna do well on YouTube? Is it not? I've got no idea. The point is, it's a strategy. You gotta just go out there and take action and test it out. So that's what I would say.
I'm gonna dive into another question real quick.
Yeah.
So Mark says, I like to create a group that I charge a monthly fee, but not sure how to do it in a system. Membership seems like its courses and communities is just a place for friends to group chat. Any suggestions?
Yeah,
Um,
use courses. Use the courses feature.
so courses is awesome, and the big thing about courses is it's not just courses. Think of it as digital products in general.
Yeah,
So how I organize my courses is within the main course. Obviously, there's the teaching material, which are usually videos, but then there's also like supplementary things. Like I've got workbooks, I've got some affiliate links to some kind of supplementary stuff, like some copywriting tools, or maybe like Canva templates. Um, Courses are definitely the course area in system is where you do all of this in. And I think that having a monthly fee to do it, as long as you're constantly providing value and updating it, then you're gonna keep having recurring customers and you're gonna keep building those relationships with folks.
yeah, yeah. Totally, totally.
And the
And
last question I want to get into, Sylvia says, how do we get on a live with you? That's an awesome question because I
Live
was
with
asking the same thing myself.
live with me. Just
Yeah,
send me a DM. Send me a
just
DM. Follow
slide
up.
his DMs.
Make it easy for me. Make it easy for me. That's the end of the day, right? Like I get requests. I got 4 different people sending me an email today saying I'd like to hop on a Zoom call to discuss a business deal that I want to partner with you, right? Like I'm getting to the stage where you get those requests and you have to filter who you wanna, who you got time for and stuff like that. And
Absolutely.
I actually don't mind just hopping with pretty much anybody if there's an opportunity, right? Like I didn't know anything about you when I agreed. I know nothing about you, right? But I'm cool, But timing wise, it just wasn't the right timing. Da da da. You followed up, and here we are. And you made it very easy. Like you did a really good post, really good thumbnail. You did a really good scheduling, and the restream was really easy to kind of set up and connect. And I was like, oh, I could connect to my own YouTube channel. Let me try it. So now it's going to my YouTube channel and my own Facebook. So that's really handy, So you just made my life easy. So reaching out and making the person you want on make their life super easy, and take as little time as you can because that's precious, right? So that's
Absolutely.
really my tip for you.
Absolutely. And I try to keep these relatively short because I understand your time's valuable. I know you probably have something else coming up. you know, I was actually on your YouTube page and I saw some of the things you got, scheduled to post and publish. So you're doing a lot of great things and you're pushing out content pretty fast.
Yeah,
You're crushing it.
yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So I just want to thank you for joining us again. I did say this is going to be a 30-minute little hit, but if you got anything else you want to add, just feel free, man. Just floor is yours.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the biggest takeaway, like, I don't like people watching videos and just consuming for the sake of consumption, right? My biggest suggestion for you, and my biggest thing, if I want you to take something away, is go and actually do something toward finding a new customer today. Like, go find a customer today. That's the most, valuable thing that I can tell you, because that's at the end of the day, the faster you step away from the treadmill of consumption and go to the production, that's when you're going to start finding success. Now, finding a customer might mean scheduling yourself on a podcast or getting somebody on your own podcast, or maybe going to a Facebook group and engaging with people. Maybe it's DMing every single person in your messenger. Maybe it's going through your phone book and DMing everybody just to say hi and connect with them. Something that's going to get in front of other people's audiences, make yourself known, form meaningful connections, right? So that's my biggest thing for you.
There
Yeah.
you have it, folks. Make those connections and actually do something. Take action, one
Yeah.
step at a time.
Yeah. We got some other questions here as well. Should I answer those quickly?
Sure, if you want to.
Um, okay, see. How do I get on a live? Okay, I saw that.
Yeah, we did that one.
How many people work for you? So I've got 2 full-time support people. I've got a full-time video editor. I've got a part-time YouTube SEO type person that watches videos, create chapters, things like that. I also have a part-time person that I just hired to help me manage the Systeme IO Facebook group that I have for tech tutorials, just to go and answer questions there. I also have an agency that does paid ads for me, and there is other. I've got a part-time graphic designer. I've literally hired an agency for graphic design like today,
Nice.
so I can create and churn out more templates as well. So I'm hiring, and I usually definitely try to hire somebody when I'm like, okay, this is something that's sustainable that I can actually maintain.
Yep.
So that's what I have so far. But I definitely am looking to hire more people at the moment. So
So when you say you're looking to hire more people, what particular roles are you looking for? If some folks here are pretty interested, and some guys here maybe specialists, So I guess what do you have in mind, and what are you looking for in said person?
yeah, so I'll give you a really good example. So I've been trying to figure out for a long time. Like we were talking about skills earlier, like what are you good at and all that. Copy is something that I'm pretty good at. Creating reels. Oh, just like just not, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But I have so much content on YouTube. It is so stupid that I do not repurpose all my content into TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. Like I need somebody to repurpose all my content. Now, there's something that I learned. As you grow as a business owner, something that a lesson that I learned this year is I learned that software is cheaper than people, right? So I stopped looking at how expensive software is and realized that actually it's saving me a lot of money if I use the software and I pay for something. So right now, for example, I'm testing a software to be able to repurpose a lot of my content. Once I figure out the process for that, I have somebody in mind to literally hire, and they'll be like, watch all my YouTube videos one by one, and just chop them using that software
Yep.
and schedule them to all the platforms, basically. So now that I feel that I've got the software down, I need to just do it once myself, create an SOP, turn it over, hire. So that's an example. Somebody to manage every one of my social media accounts at some point, Quora, LinkedIn, all that stuff. I don't want to do any of that. Do you know what I mean?
It's just
Um,
time consuming. Yeah.
it's just time consuming. Graphic design, I've got the agency, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to test that out. Lead generation, always, if somebody knows how to do lead gen and stuff like that, in terms of like going and organically do lead gen and just
Yep.
there could be a base amount and then there's an affiliate commission as a commission based. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I've got the goods, I've got the digital products, I've got the infrastructure. You just have to
Yep.
plug it. Do you know what I mean? So, but it's got to financially make sense to me and to the person as well. So I'm always hiring for the right opportunity, the right person. If I can get something cheaper with someone else and they don't add enough value, well, I've got no reason to. You know what I mean? It just depends on the task.
And there's always that balance we have to walk. If we get somebody that's brand new, but we have to spend a lot of time training them, versus
Hmm.
somebody that isn't so new, that doesn't require so much hand holding. Sometimes you do want to take the new person because sometimes we want to mold them into what fits the brand more. Other times we don't have the time to do all the trainings. We want somebody that's a little more senior.
Yeah,
Yep, I totally understand that.
yeah.
All right. So this question is a bit of a long one. I'm a recent DCA alum planning to use System IO for my digital course. Are there any limitations or problems I should be aware of if using it with Amy's process? I'm not sure what Amy is. I've done
Amy,
this.
Amy Porterfield. Yeah.
Gotcha.
DCA stands for Digital Course Academy. Yeah, it's her $2,000 course. Look, I know Amy's process. I've been through her stuff as well. In reality, Amy does preach a lot to do webinars, and the webinar featuring system is not phenomenal. It's not as versatile as other webinar software per se, but it's good enough, right? And also, I think that Amy's method of selling through webinars is a bit outdated, if you ask my personal opinion. I think that people are going to struggle selling straight on webinars as well. So I think that's a challenge because Amy now has such a huge audience and she's built so much trust with that audience. Of course, people are going to buy through webinar. But if you actually pay attention to Amy's methodology, it's also evolved. She did a free challenge 2 years ago. 3 years ago. 2 years ago, she started doing paid challenges, $47. And then last year, she did again another $47 challenge. And this time, she had 8,000 people sign up for that challenge.
Wow.
Right? Now, when you look at those numbers, like you're not going to get those numbers, right? So it's learning from these people is one thing, but I think it's more valuable to pay attention to what they do
Yep.
versus buying their stuff to learn because she's teaching webinars, she ain't doing webinars. She's actually testing stuff out because things are evolving in the marketplace, right, all the time. So I think it's really important to pay attention to that as well. Not dissing Amy. I mean, I like Amy. She teaches really good stuff and stuff and so on. You just have to be really cognizant of that. But in terms of like the funnels and selling and all that with a course and like the whole method of Amy, which is like selling the first 10 courses, 10 customers first, like none of those things you're not gonna have any issues implementing Amy's teaching, basically. So that's the long answer to that. So hope that helps.
And it's a good thing that you did do the system certification course because honestly, I found that that's a great way to learn, how to dive into all the systems tools. And then the best way to learn after that is just to play with it. Just get your hands on it. As Aram was saying, find the customer, see what they want, see how you can build it, and see how you can keep making yourself better. with the free, if you're on a free account, you've only got like free, I mean, three, like, funnels or websites.
Yeah.
So I would say use one to play around with, one you can sell, and then and one that you can grow with, and then just start with that, and the commissions will come in pretty easy.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Yeah,
One other question here is giving free gets you clients. It's a question from Sylvia, I
I
think.
think that's more of a statement than a question. I think that
Uh,
she was
okay.
is giving free gets you clients. Maybe that is a question. I don't know. Um, I'm gonna approach it both ways. If it's a statement, yes, giving free can give you clients because you're providing free value that people are going with. Um, but if you're also giving them a freebie, such as a free course or free template, you're doing two things. You're building a relationship with that person by giving them something that they can use that they need, and you're also kind of adding them to your own, your affiliate account. You're building commissions down the line. So, yes, giving free does provide, something. It's a win-win situation for both people most times.
Yeah, totally, totally. Something I will add to that is you got to consider what I like to call the strangers to customers process. Somebody who has no idea who the hell you are to I want to buy from you, right? And you got to figure out how do you get that person from here to here,
Yep.
and what does that entail? Now, there are different ways to do it. That you can provide them with free content, free YouTube, free text based, free blogs, free TikTok, free whatever. You can also do it through getting on a Zoom call. You can also do it by somebody recommending you and things like that. So there's different types of touch points where they get to know you more and more and move across this path of strangers to customers. So whatever that path looks like, you got to fill in that path with things that are going to strengthen that path and give that path and make it as stable and faster as possible. So quality of touch point makes a difference, right? Um, Obviously, if it's a really high quality touch point like a Zoom call, it's probably the highest. Like what we're doing right now, having a conversation, even though it's like a podcast interview, whatever, it's
Right.
still it's probably the highest level of touch point besides going for lunch together. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's probably the highest level of a touch point. However, that's a manual touch point. You still have to be there. But on the other hand, once you do it once, it also lives on your channel. Somebody can watch that all of a sudden. Somebody can get to know me
Right.
and get to my world, and that part, all of that sudden, that part's automated. So you want to just build that path, that bridge from strangers to customers. And at first, it's a lot of manual, and then it becomes more and more automated if you're consistent, basically.
Yep. That is true. And there's good ways to mix that too, where whether it's reaching out directly to people via DMs
Yep.
or under comments, or just via email sequences. I always like to say, don't simply rely on the automations. Let it be a supplement. You still have to do the legwork and build relationships with people. You still have to create good content they resonate with, whether that's blog posts, whether that's tutorials, as you and I love to do, or whether that's just little short tips and tricks videos. You know.
Yeah.
All right. I should have took a photo too.
Yeah, take a photo. I was actually like, let's do a nice photo because I want to use this for like a blog slash review for Restream. It's a really cool software. I don't think I've used this at least not in a while. So
I've tried a few different streaming softwares. I've tried Restream, StreamYard, um, and there's quite a few other ones. I like Restream because one, it played the price game, and two, the quality's pretty well. I mean,
yeah,
this is awesome. I could add a ton of things in here. I've got QR codes and other little captions. I've got some pretty funky things in here, like you know, little cool things. Join one of my
yeah,
Facebook groups. All kinds of stuff.
totally, totally. Okay, do a bit of smile so I can take a photo properly. Nice.
Make sure you send me that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good. It's good. But yeah, this is an example of just how to like, like okay, I'm in the mode. I'm like, yeah, it's a cool software. I could do a quick like video, whip out a little video, and say,
Yeah.
hey, restream. And I tell you, I use Wave Video, which is a competitor. But what I liked about Restream is the fact that you can invite me, and I could actually add my own channel, which is really cool. I didn't know that. I don't
That's
think.
that. That's honestly what sold me on this platform was that
Interesting.
I can invite multiple different like guest hosts, and each one of them can invite their channels, and so it's just a lot of outreach. Honestly, it's awesome.
Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um,
I think this is a great question. I like to get into, but before you go, this how do you break down your day to be that productive? Because as you were saying, there's a lot that goes into owning a business. There's creating content, there's following up with folks, there's a lot of moving pieces. How do you break down your day? Like, what is your typical schedule to do this all?
I'm going to give you a framework versus a day to day because no one's going to want to do my schedule. I can tell you right now. No one's going to want to work like me. No one's going to want to do my hours. No one wants to hear about it. Nobody wants to know about it. I'm just telling you right now. I guarantee it. And if you are, you're freaking insane. And if you are, good for you. You probably won't even ask me that question, right? So, and that's fine. Like the competitive advantage I have is I'm a bit insane like that. Like I'll just work like a dog, and that's just the way it is. But I'll give you a framework that's applicable to everybody, and that's something that I follow very closely. I've got 4-step framework: eliminate, automate, systemize, outsource. Basically, step one, I always figure out okay what eliminates, and that's first of all you can eliminate shiny objects, right?
Yep.
So eliminate notifications. Anybody who's got their notification turned on right now, why? Right? So turn off notifications, unsubscribe from emails that don't serve you well, things like that, right? On your phone, on your desktop, all that stuff, like
Absolutely.
those little dings. These eliminate, right? Another thing of eliminate is spending so much time researching and watching endless videos and all this stuff. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Go find a customer. 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 Right? So that's an example of eliminate. Then we get into automate, systemize, all that. That's a little bit more advanced in terms of like what I do, like in terms of setting up a funnel. Like, if I'm like, for example, I'll give you an example of a system, really simple system. We're doing this YouTube video right now. Great. You're done with the video. It's going to go live on my channel. I take the link, I post it to my project management tool. It automatically goes to my VA, my YouTube SEO VA. He's going to watch this for 40 minutes or an hour or whatever. He's going to create chapters, put it on Google Doc, and I could just give you the link. You could put on your video, on your thing. You'll be on my channel. And all of a sudden, I've got a chapter.
Yep.
Based on that chapter, I can then give it to my repurposing person to pick a specific segment and maybe turn it into a reel as well. That's a
Yep.
system, right? The software, the Blue project management tool that I use, that's a software to automate. So that's the example of things that I do on a constant basis. So that's why I'm saying that's the 4-step framework: eliminate, automate, systemize, outsource, because it's cheaper to automate with software, right? It's,
Absolutely.
it's cheaper than people. So I try to automate first. What you can't automate, you hire, and you will need to systemize that to be able to hire. So that's why that framework. The second aspect is what I follow is in terms of priorities, like how do you prioritize a day is probably the second question, which is a bit
Yep.
more practical as well. Priority number one, and that's priority number one, existing customers. Second money is always going to be easier to get than first money, i.e., those that have already paid you, it's going to be easier to have them upsold or buy more things, or retention, which is my favorite way, is memberships, right?
Yep.
So if I wake up in the morning, the first thing I would do is look at my emails or look at whatever I've got going on, depending on your business, however you serve your customers, and I will answer my paying customers first. I've got it out of the way. Great. Next phase, potential customers, new revenue, right? Then the third thing that I would look at is how do I automate, systemize digital assets, things like that.
Yep.
Anything else goes pretty much in the eliminate bucket.
I think that's awesome. It's funny because you're saying all the things I've been doing, and it's just good validation. Is that I'm relatively newer in the journey compared to you who've been at this for quite some time, but it's good to know that the workflow that I'm pursuing is something that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, I like to make these longer videos. I go through do the exact same thing. I do the SEO, the chapters, and I will use a different tool to repurpose them. Maybe even edit them a little bit so it'd be a little bit different, so to kind of make them more engaging. Um, but I do need to get better at the eliminating part. I will say that is sometimes because my team isn't huge. It's me and I've got one VA. I'm looking to expand at least to get two more. But right now it's just two of us kind of doing double duty and everything.
Hmm.
When I get a few more, then I'll really be able to kind of like tackle the tasks I really like doing. I really like creating content. I really like doing the email follow ups. I really like those kinds of things. I'm good at editing, but it just takes too long.
Me too. I enjoy
Yeah.
the editing, but it's just so time consuming.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for sticking around longer than I expected, Aron. This has been awesome.
No worries. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we got some great questions. So,
Yeah.
guys, make sure, Aron, how can folks follow you if they don't know anything about you, or how to get involved with anything that you do?
Yeah. I mean, you could just go. I think some people are wondering about the Systeme IO membership, not membership, the affiliate. So I have a
Yep.
blog post where I really dive much deeper into all my strategies on affiliate and how to affiliate. So I've got a blog post on that. If you were just to send me a DM on Messenger, or just go to my website, eranbucai.com, you'll or Google my name or my YouTube channel. I'm very responsive. Just send me a message on either Instagram or Messenger, or send me an email. That's probably the best way. Yeah.
And I can say you've been pretty responsive to me through this whole process, and I like that you didn't blow me off like some folks do. Some folks will say, "Hey, I want to do it this time, this day." You communicate and say, "Hey, this time doesn't work. Let's try this time." And it's a give or take. It's all about building relationships. And I definitely think we should do this again, you know, sometime down the line. This was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
learned a lot from you. I hope that you have as much fun as I did.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
thanks again, and I will end the stream now. Thanks to all the viewers for all your questions, guys. You guys asked some great questions. I couldn't have done it alone, and I'm glad this was as engaging for you guys as it was for me.
Yeah.
So Isaiah gets from Live with Marketing, and Eran Bucai signing off.